Dr. James. Resilience isn't just about enduring a storm. It's about what we become after the winds have passed. It's about finding a strength we never knew we possessed in the face of unimaginable adversity. Today, we have the profound privilege of hearing from one such individual. Her name is Sarah, and her story is a powerful testament to the human spirit's capacity to fight, to hope, and to rebuild. Her journey began on a day that felt just like any other, until it wasn't. Sarah VO. The day my world stopped. That's what I call it. It was a Tuesday. I remember the absurdly specific details. The air smelled of rain and that sterile lemony scent of the clinic. The examination room was cold. Not just the temperature, but the feeling of it. The vinyl on the chair stuck to my skin. I was tracing the floral pattern on my skirt with my finger, over and over, just to have something to do with my hands. Dr. Evans came in, and he didn't sit down right away. That was the first alarm bell. Doctors always sit. He held a manila folder, but he wasn't looking at it. He was looking at me, with this profound sadness in his eyes, a professional pity. He said my name, Sarah, and then there was a pause that seemed to stretch into an eternity. "The results of the scan are back," he said. "It's pancreatic cancer." The words didn't land like a sentence. They landed like a physical blow. Pancreatic cancer. Two words that, to me, were a death sentence. The sound in the room vanished. It was like being at the bottom of a pool. I could see his mouth moving, saying things about stages, about oncologists, about options, but all I could hear was a high-pitched ringing in my ears. The world I knew, the future I had meticulously planned, it all just stopped. In its place, a single, suffocating thought took root. This is how I die. Fear wasn't just an emotion, it was a physical presence in that room. It had a weight, a temperature. It filled my lungs until I couldn't breathe. Sarah VO. The first 48 hours were a blur of tears and a hollow dread. I let the fear consume me, but then, something shifted. It was a flicker at first, a tiny spark of defiance deep inside. I looked at a picture of my two children on the mantelpiece, their bright, innocent smiles, and I got angry. I wasn't just a diagnosis. I was a mother, a wife, a daughter, a friend. I was Sarah, and I wasn't going to let this disease write my final chapter. That anger became my fuel. That was the moment I chose to fight. This wasn't a battle I could wage alone, so I began to assemble my arsenal. My living room transformed into a war room. I spent days, nights, researching. I read every clinical trial, every patient forum, every article on the leading pancreatic surgeons and oncologists in the country. My husband, bless him, became my chief of staff, organizing appointments, taking notes, asking the questions I was too overwhelmed to form. We sought a second opinion, and then a third. We weren't looking for someone to give us false hope. We were looking for a team that saw me, not just my scans. We found that in Dr. Chen's team. I remember walking into her office, and she looked me in the eye and said, "This is a formidable opponent, but we have formidable weapons. We will fight this with you." In that moment, I knew I had found my general. I made a conscious decision right then. I would not be a passive patient. I would be an active partner in my own survival. I would become my own strongest, loudest, most relentless advocate. Sarah VO. The battlefield. That's what treatment was. It was a brutal, relentless war, fought on the terrain of my own body. First came the Whipple surgery, a massive, complex procedure that felt like my body had been deconstructed and pieced back together. The recovery was a mountain of its own, learning to eat again, to walk again, to simply exist with this new, rearranged anatomy. Then came the chemotherapy. 6 months of a poison meant to save my life. I remember the distinct, metallic taste that never left my mouth, the way my hair fell out in clumps in the shower, the bone-deep fatigue that made lifting my head from the pillow feel like a monumental effort. There were days of absolute despair, days I'd lie in bed, too weak to move, and just weep. I'd look in the mirror at this pale, bold stranger and wonder where Sarah had gone. I felt like a ghost haunting my own life. The chemo ward is a strange place, a community of silent warriors, all tethered to poles and bags of chemicals. We'd give each other these small, knowing nods. No words were needed. We understood the valleys the others were in. But even in the deepest darkness, there were glimmers of light. A day when I could stomach a full meal. A walk around the block that didn't leave me gasping for air. Finishing a round of chemo felt like a victory. a battle won. My son would make a mark on the calendar, a little star for each infusion completed. Those small victories, those tiny marks on a calendar, they were the handholds that allowed me to keep climbing. Asterisk, asterisk, Sarah VO. Asterisk, asterisk, no one survives a war like this alone. You need an army behind you, and I had the very best. My husband, Mark, was my rock. He was the one who held the basin when I was sick, who read to me when I couldn't focus, who just sat with me in the silence when there was nothing to say. He never faltered. My children, they were my reason. On the days I wanted to give up, I would think of them, and I would find the strength to get out of bed. They gave me purpose. My friends organized a meal train that lasted for months, a practical act of love that sustained us when we were too tired to even think about cooking. And there was a nurse, Linda. During my long infusions, she had this way of making me feel human. She'd talk about her garden, her grandchildren, anything but the cancer. She'd bring me a warm blanket without me having to ask. She saw the person, not just the patient. These were my pillars of strength, my community. They created an ecosystem of resilience around me, holding me up when my own legs gave out. I also found an unexpected lifeline in an online community, the Pancreatic Cancer Warriors Forum. These were strangers from around the world, but they understood my fears in a way no one else could. They shared tips, offered encouragement, and celebrated every small win. They were my fellow soldiers, and their collective strength became my own. Asterisk, asterisk, Sarah VO. Asterisk, asterisk, surviving isn't an event, it's a process. The active treatment ends, but the journey continues on a new landscape. Life after cancer is not a return to the before. That world is gone. You live in the after. In the beginning, every ache, every twinge, sent a jolt of panic through me. The waiting for scan results, what we call scanxiety, is a unique form of psychological torture. You try to live your life, but a part of you is always holding your breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. There are the long-term side effects, the digestive issues, the fatigue that still lingers on some days. It's a constant negotiation with a body that has been through a war. But there's another side to it, a profound psychological shift. You don't sweat the small stuff anymore. The things that used to cause me stress now seem laughably insignificant. I experience joy more intensely. A beautiful sunset, a hug from my daughter, the taste of my morning coffee. These simple moments are now infused with a gratitude so deep, it's almost overwhelming. I've found a new purpose in this. After I volunteer, speaking to newly diagnosed patients, I try to be for them what those voices in the forum were, for me, a beacon of hope. Sharing my story, helping someone else navigate that initial terror, has given my own struggle a meaning I never could have anticipated. Sarah. Asterisk, asterisk, if I could go back and speak to that terrified woman in that cold examination room, the Sarah of day one, what would I say? I would wrap my arms around her. I would let her cry. I would tell her that her fear is valid, that the world has just cracked open beneath her feet, and it's okay to be shattered. But then, I would look her in the eyes and I would say, breathe, just take one breath, now another. I'd tell her that the road ahead is harder than anything she's ever imagined, but she is stronger than she has ever known. I would tell her, you are not a statistic. You are Sarah, and your story is not over. I'd tell her to be kind to herself, to allow for moments of weakness, because that's not failure, it's humanity. And most importantly, I would whisper a truth she can't possibly believe right now, but that will become her anthem. There is hope. It's real, it's powerful, and it lives inside you. Hold on to it. It will be your light in the darkest of nights. I would tell her that she will survive, and she will one day find herself on the other side, not broken, but remade, with a strength and a love for life that will illuminate everything. She just has to choose to fight for that day.